friends. Welcome back to my channel. I think that this video is going to be a little bit difficult for me to make because it gives a little bit of insight maybe as to the person I am, the person I've become. Today, we're going to talk about growing up with a parent who has mental illness, who gaslights, who is bipolar, and who makes me feel like shit a lot of the time I allow it, which is really unfortunate and hard. And I just want to discuss that a little bit because I know that there are other people out there that have parents that hinder them and make them feel bad. And I promised myself that I wouldn't do this video until my mom had passed, but she's really hard on my mental health, and she is really hard on my psyche. And an incident came up today that provoked me to make this video because I just want to be done with it. I want to, if I'm sitting with it, then it's filling up my head, and if I discuss it, then I'm getting it out there, and I take ownership over that which is bothering me. So I just want to discuss a little bit and get some things off of my shoulders, maybe to alleviate some stress and help me get on with my day. So as I just said, my mom is bipolar, and it was a struggle growing up. She is unpredictable. Her behaviors are unpredictable. Her mood swings are scary and unpredictable. And I try my best to do whatever I can to not provoke that behavior, because it's scary, and I don't like feeling like I've provoked somebody's breakdown, like I'm cracking somebody's psyche themselves. And it's made me very emotional. It's made me not trust people. It's paved the foundation for a very unfulfilling life. And I don't want to do that to my kids. I don't want to gaslight my own kids, because from my own experience, it's not fun. It's hard. It's hard to rise above. It's hard to rise above the feeling of inadequacy, shame, when all those things are coming from your own mom, your own mother, who you're supposed to feel unconditional about. And I just want to get in, I want to tell a little bit of the story as leading up to what happened, which made me make this video. I've been going through some clothes and stuff like that, and I had them set aside because my mom had a friend who wanted to come and get these boxes of clothes that I had. pardon me. And a few years ago, my niece overdosed and died under suspicious circumstances. And as a family, we took it very hard. My mom especially took it very hard. I don't know if her bipolar had a play in that, if her mental health played in that, but you can't have anything greater than her. If your back hurts, her back hurts 10 times more. If you're in pain, she's in pain. If your daughter dies, her granddaughter died. So it's always, if you go to Tenerife, she's been to 11 Reef. Like she always is one step higher than you. And there was suspicious circumstances leading around the death, and she took it really hard, and she was contacting the funeral home profusely, making very bold statements about saying people killed my niece. That happened in October. In April, she had a stroke or something. There was suspicious circumstances leading up, surrounding her stroke. I found her. I hadn't been able to get a hold of her in a couple of days, so I got the police to go and do a wellness check, and they had to break the door down. And when they found her, she was underneath her mattresses, in between the two mattresses, unresponsive. They had to bring her to the hospital by an ambulance. She was naked, very close to death. And I believe that if I hadn't have got the police to do the wellness check that day, she most likely would have died that day. And so we brought her to the hospital. And there was suspicious circumstances leading up to that, and we thought maybe somebody that was responsible for my niece's death maybe had broken into her house and hurt her, because she was being a fool and she was on Facebook doing things that she shouldn't have been doing. So she was in the hospital for quite a while, a month, recovering. And yesterday I was looking through YouTube and I came across these videos of suspicious circumstances. And there was one where a lady was put into a care home, like a mental health facility, and over-medicated and left in a room. And she banged around her room for a long time, a day or so, falling and hitting her head. And it made me, a light went off in my head and thought, maybe that's what happened to my mom. Maybe she took a bunch of medicine, because she does that. She takes her hydromorphine, she takes her lorazepam, she takes all these different medications, and she's all alone. So nobody knows that she's doing these things. So when I came across this video, it really ignited a thought in my head. And I wanted her to see the video, because I don't want her to think that people broke into her house and beat her up. I thought it would help. It didn't. Today, I sent her the video and asked her, like, maybe it'll trigger you. Maybe you shouldn't watch this video. Well, she sent me a message saying that, I'm going to read the message. I just got to get it. Private messages between my mother and I, like, first message was to my sister, but she sent it to me instead. She said, "Don't you find it weird Kath sent me that? Like she seems to think I'm crazy. Do you, Kathy, think I'm crazy? I don't understand that video you sent me. I'm of sound mind and body, and what happened to me had no similarities to that video. That really hurt my feelings for you to ever think a thing like that, kid. Also, my landlord said nobody's allowed to use the garage, which I asked her if I could put some stuff in there because I've been paying on a storage unit for 3 years. I'm not exactly sure what you saw in that video, but that is not at all what happened to me, and I feel like you just degraded my mental capacity." And I said, "Why would that video hurt your feelings, Mom? You were in a state at that time, over-medicating and sad all the time. If I hurt your feelings, it was not my intention. I was hoping it would help you feel like you weren't attacked. I can't say anything, and when I'm doing something, so I'm going to delete myself from your life. It's been 40 years of this same back and forth shit, which is not good for either of our mental health. I love you, but I have to distance myself from you." And then she said, "You can say things to me, Kath, but at least it makes sense. That video was about a mentally challenged woman, kid. What she doesn't understand is that she is herself a mentally challenged woman. And in my heart, I was just trying to help her, as I'm always just trying to help her. But she has sent me such vile messages before, and that's not how your mom is supposed to talk to you." So, as much as I hate you guys to see me like this, I just want you to understand me a little bit more. Don't hate me for reaching out. Maybe I'm just looking for love. It'll come. I have hope. And something good will come today. I have faith. And just 1 minute. While I'm here, I'm going to read from my feast days. Today is the 22nd. It's a short one. Like attracts like. If we give up, so will others. If we cry, so will they. But if we decide that this is a new beginning, others will take courage. We influence other people. Our attitude sends out ripples of feelings, like the scent of flowers that floats on air currents. What we think and say sets the stage for what is to happen. We change our minds, our words, our attitudes, and we stop crying. We act like our prayers are already answered and take steps to show we believe it. When the early morning sun breaks through the far side of the woods, the dark places are lighted, and much healing takes place, and so it is with us. Great Spirit, you lived first, and you are older than all need. Today's message comes from Black Elk. Namaste. I love you. See you in my next video. Wipe the tears, Kathy.